Um, Hello, everybody. My name is Patrick, and I am here with Felix and James. And today we will be talking about one of the bigger B Corps out there, Tom Shoes. And so, funny enough, Tom Shoes wasn't founded by Tom. It was founded by a man named Blake Makowski, and he went to a trip to Argentina when he was younger, and he just found out how poorly and unfortunate the kids were there. It was to the point where they were all almost barefoot because they could barely even afford shoes or clothes. So, with this in mind, Blake went straight back to America and he created the company of Tom's Shoes. And they had created this business model of buy one, give one, or one for one. And this meant that for every pair of shoes bought from Tom's Shoes, another pair was donated straight to one of these more developing countries. And this business model was unheard of at the time, especially for nonprofit or for profit companies. And originally, all the intentions were good. Tom had a pure heart set with pure intentions to do the pure goodwill and help out these developing countries. But after a while and lackluster results that were wanted, Tom actually decided to stick to the same plan, even though he knew it wasn't going to work. So there was a lot of critical thinking components that Tom Shoes has went through, and even if they were intentional or not, they still used a lot of these components to their advantage. And the first thing was that Blake definitely sparked a lot of curiosity, and he did this by sharing his personal stories and his personal experiences of how it really is to be in one of these developing countries. And he would talk about how it would be all a facade and that a lot of the people there needed our help. And so the next thing that he would do is that he would use reasoning. And he would do this by showing us advertisements of the very poorly developed area parts of these developing countries. And he would show how affected these areas were. And it would give us a clear reasoning for the call to action. Next, Tom's buy one, give one model was so liked and favored in the community that people were super quick to assume how Tom's company, Tom Shoes, was a very fair and non-discriminatory company. Now, lastly, Shoes has used a lot of deductive reasoning by doing a lot of research that provides the dangers and the consequences of being barefoot can actually be. And so next, there is
This company made several errors in their critical thinking, the leading of them being research. Economist researchers already know the problem that giving free items to a market economy can be. This leads to a lack of ability to compete in the local companies. They're also making a mistake in how their buy one, get one deal is entirely weighted towards the $60, leaving only a $4 shoe being donated. The last error they made was that once people began to catch on to these practices, the general educated public has stopped purchasing from the company.
So what would happen without Tom's donation? Well, first thing that would happen is that there would be more opportunities for the developing countries' garment industry to grow and become self-sustainable. Since people have the need for cheap and durable shoes, there's room for these people to innovate and actually make proper shoes, as well as innovate on other potential products that would be cheap yet suits their needs. The second thing that would happen is that there would be preventions from the spreading of fake notions about this country. So if you're aware of poverty porn, you would know what I mean. And if we really think about it, almost everyone have this fake notion that people in these developing poor countries are having a horrible life and so on. Yes, they need help, but not by donations of money and all that stuff. But again, we need for them to be able to sustain themselves and have the same opportunities as any other countries to innovate and have their own creation. So how could we fix this? The first suggestion that we have is that Tom should do more research on the target countries to help with specific problems. That is why rather than giving people away shoes, they need to come up with a model that matters more than people. This will not only affect buyers' emotion more deeply, and it will really have a greater impact for people. For instance, back in 2011, they did something like what I mentioned, which is for every pair of sunglasses sold, they would give out cataract surgery in developing countries. And second thing that we suggest is that Tom needs to be more focused on providing health and medical support. Relating to the first point, we feel that help in terms of medical support and healthcare is much more impactful because research has shown the issues that Tom have given out are not as beneficial to the receiver's overall life quality than expected. So providing medical relief would be much more beneficial. The third suggestions that we came up with is that Tom could help by educating garment industry leaders and workers to help the industry and possibly grow the economy. I think Tom should help the garment industry by educating them and exposing them to knowledge that they did not have so that they could have a better chance on developing their own garment industry. This will be a better marketing tool, and I think this will help Tom to get out of the buy one and give one model.
All right, so I would like to thank everybody for our presentation on Tom's, and it wasn't easy, but it definitely was fun. Thank you.